Welcome back, fifth graders, to another one of my videos. You want this as much as I want to make them. So we both know we're here for the right reasons, not because our moms are making us do this. Be quiet, Mom, I'm making a video. Oh my gosh. Moms, am I right? Okay, anyway, I don't live with my mom, in case you're wondering. But it's okay if you do. I mean, totally normal if you're 10 or 11, but not 32. Anyway, I digress. This video does have a point, and that point is we are learning how to multiply and divide by a power of 10 with exponents. All right? That is a big mouthful. Okay, so let's unpack it a little bit. So, oh, and by the way, if you're like, I'm Mr. Anonymous, I know how to do this already. Awesome. Then what are you doing here? Go do it. Okay, and leave the rest of us here to enjoy this video. Okay, bye. All right. Now that it's just us, let's have some fun. And by fun, I mean solving this problem. Okay, 10 to the second power. Let's unpack that first. Okay, does anybody know what 10 to the second power is? Yes, you. Nope, it's not 20. Yeah, it's not. I know, crazy, right? But it's not actually the base number, which is 10, times the exponent, which is 2. So it's not 10 times 2. Okay, it is actually 10 multiplied by itself. Okay, 10 to the second power, which of course is 100. Okay, so now that we've unpacked that, we know that we're dividing this number by 100. Okay, now I'm going to show you the long way to do this, because why not? You're watching this because you have to, and I'm making the video because I want to. So you are going to sit through this. Okay, 5,352. All right, we are dividing by 100, right? Because we had decided that that's what this is. 10 to the second power is 10 times 10, which is 100. Okay, now we can do our division. So I like to use the chunking method. I don't know what actual math teachers call it, but I call it the chunk method because it's like taking chunks out of a total, right? And the chunks are split up into groups of 100, right? You can have one group of 100, but the chunks that are being taken out are going to be no less than 100, right? So imagine there's this big old bowl of 5,352 jelly beans, and we've got a number of scoops of sorts, right? And they're all multiples of 10. So this scoop, of course, I'm showing you with my hands, and you can't see it because this is radio, not TV. Okay, so use the theater of your mind. One scoop is a one multiple of 100, so it's 100, right? You can take a chunk of 100 out, and then you can double that. There's another scoop, and you can go on as far as you need to, right? Suppose our biggest scoop is 10 groups of 100, which of course is 1,000. And you know what? Let's say it's even bigger than that. Let's say it's 100. Okay, 100 groups of 100. All right, and that of course would be 10,000. All right, now that scoop's too big, so we're not going to use that. But we can start chunking it out. So all right, let's. I mean, 100. How can I chunk out 5,000? Right? How can I get from 100 to 5,000? 5 groups. That would be 500. 50 groups. 50 groups of 100. Yeah. So I'm going to start by taking 50 groups of 100 out, which of course I know is 5,000. All right, we've just divided 50 groups out of the total, and what's left over? Well, 352. Okay, now we can still chunk it out. Now the chunk is going to have to be a lot smaller than 50 groups of 100 because we're only left with 352. So the closest we can get is probably 3 groups, right? Because 3 groups of 100 is 300. So then let's separate, I promise that's a 3. Let's separate 300 out of it. All right, now check this out. What we find is that we've got a total of 53 groups, right? That is the amount of even groupings of 100 that we can make out of 5,352 jelly beans. So of course we can put the 53 right there, okay? And what's left over is 52, and if our total that we're counting by is groups of 100, well then the remainder is 52 100ths. Wait a second, can't you write that as a decimal? That is correct, you can. So let's make a nice decimal point because we're out of whole numbers right here, and we can write 52 hundredths as, well, 52 hundredths, right? Now look at that, right? Fun way to do division. But I have some good news and some bad news. Let's start with bad news first. Bad news is I didn't have to show you all of that, but I did. The good news is there's a quicker way. There's a trick, a truth, if you will. Okay, so let's get rid of that. And it works like this. If we're dividing by a multiple of 10, then all we need to do is decrease what we're dividing by the number of place values that are in our multiple of 10. So in this case, if we're dividing by 100, how many zeros are there in 100? Oh, that's right, there's 2. So let's look at it again. 5,352, okay, divided by 100, and there's 2 zeros in 100. So let's decrease the place value by 2. Boom, boom. So if we're dividing, we swoop it to the left, and look at that. We're left with the same thing that we found earlier, 53 and 52 hundredths, right? Wow. Isn't that neat? 53 and 52 hundredths. Okay, we've split it into 100 groups. Oh, glad that was right. That would have been embarrassing. Okay, now we've got a multiplication problem. So yes, I know what all of you are thinking. This video is too long and you're hungry. Well, so am I, so suck it up. All right, 13 hundredths times 10 to the third power. So let's unpack 10 to the third power, okay? Earlier, we had 10 to the second power, which we knew was 10 times 10, which equal to 100. So 10 times itself 3 times over would be what? 10 times 10 is 100, times another 10, that looks like 30, yikes. Anyway, is 1,000. But wait a second. Isn't there a shortcut to that too? Why, yes, there is. 10 to the third power is simply 1 with 3 zeros. Look at that. Okay, didn't even have to do all this. Sorry to waste your time. But now you know. All right, so 1,000, right? We are multiplying 13 hundredths by 1,000. That's like saying if you had 13 cents and you multiplied it by 1,000, or if you had 1,000 little bags or purses or satchels that each had 13 cents in it, you would have more money than 13 cents. But how much exactly? Well, if you are paying attention, you know that dividing, we decrease the place, the number by the number of zeros in our multiple of 10 by swooping the decimal to the left. So which way do we swoop it now? So if we've got 13 hundredths, right, and we're multiplying by 1,000, which gives us 3 zeros. That's right. We can swoop it to the right 3 times. So 1, 2, 3. Boom. If you had 1,000 little satchels, which each contain 13 cents, you'd have a total of $130. Hooray! I hope this makes sense, and I hope this is worth your time, because it's fun for me. Okay, awesome. Oh, that's a big one. Maybe I'll do this one, and we'll call it a day. If you're still watching this video, man, kudos to sticking with it. All right, again, let's unpack this. 10 to the third power is, that's right, 1,000. So we're dividing 15,519 by 1,000, or as our little trick goes, swooping 3 times. 1, 2, 3. Boom. We are left with $15 and almost 52 cents, because we've got 51 hundredths and then 9 thousandths, right? We're 1/1000th away from being 52 hundredths. But there you go. 15 and 519 thousandths. Oh, goody. All right. Time for a snack. I hope this has been helpful. Good luck, students.